Well, everybody, it's looking more and more likely that Kevin McCarthy, at the end of the day, will become the next Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, I made a video a couple days ago saying that it was unlikely McCarthy was going to get the speakership. But, I said it was unlikely he was going to get the speakership if he did not agree to some of the significant demands by many of the anti-McCarthy coalition. And well, just to say the least, he's bent the knee on most of the big things a lot of these people want. Now, he's not going to get the speakership, I don't think, in the 12th round. It's mathematically impossible, or even 13th. But it's more than likely at this point, it's a matter of time when he's going to get the speakership, because he's reached significant agreements with the majority of the anti-McCarthy coalition. Now, I understand people are going to say, oh, these people are traitors, and all that other stuff. Well, guys, you need to understand one thing. A lot of these anti-McCarthy voters, they had specific grievances that beforehand were not even discussed. McCarthy was ignoring it. He thought he could just threaten all these people into submission. Well, he finally realized after 11 failures, no, he cannot just, threaten these voters, or I should say congressmen, and expect, geez, I'm going to become the next speaker. Well, it failed miserably. And we do got a couple of flips. Bishop, Breachin, Michael Cloud, Andrew Clyde, Donald, Luna, Mary Miller, Norman, Ogle, Scott Perry, etc. They're not traitors. Most of them got what they wanted. Now, there were some significant deals that many people were discussing about what do these people really want. And a lot of people were saying, oh, they're all never McCarthy. They're never going to vote for McCarthy. Well, they just did. One of the biggest things a lot of these people wanted was for the Congressional Leadership Fund to get the hell out of primaries. Like, if you don't know, the Congressional Leadership Fund is the super PAC that McCarthy essentially runs. And these clowns have got involved in many primaries. Well, them and the Club for Growth, which is a solid PAC for Republicans, reach an agreement that, hey, the Club for Growth, they forced the Leadership Fund to be like, hey, you're not allowed to get involved in safe primaries. That means, okay, there is a Trump plus 10 seat, right? That's an open seat primary. You're not allowed to get involved in that primary. While I wish they would stay out of most primaries, it is a step in the right direction. We're going to get some significant conservative candidates with this agreement, because the Leadership Fund, they would just dogpile millions upon millions of dollars into candidates. Now, I wish they did this for all primaries. It's a start. We're probably going to eventually reach a full-on deal. They're not allowed to get involved in open primaries at all, and limited involvement in incumbent primaries. That's what I think would be the fair deal. Like, there's no reason these guys should be involved in all the primaries. I mean, come on. An open seat primary? Like, you can make the reason that the Leadership Fund's meant for incumbents, but outside of that, there's no reason for them to be involved in primaries. So that was the first significant deal that was reached. It didn't flip anything right away. But then during last night, after 11 failures for McCarthy, I mean, come on. 11 straight failures for McCarthy. He bent the knee on two of the biggest things a lot of people wanted. And it's not official yet. They're still ironing out the details. That's why a couple people are missing. I don't think Roy's going to vote. If he does, he probably has. But if he doesn't vote, he's probably working with Emmer and McCarthy on a final deal, because there's still some details to iron out. But the main details are done. The main two, the motion to vacate the chair, is agreed upon to be one vote. That means one representative can call an election for essentially a vote of no confidence for the speaker. Now, people are going to say the Democrats are just going to use it daily. I think they're going to make it where only somebody in the majority can do it. But in either case, we got the big thing a lot of people wanted. That means one person can ask for vote of no confidence. That's essentially what it means. And McCarthy can only afford to lose 5 Republicans. If you lose any more, he's out. And there'll be a new speakership election. That's why that's a big deal. Because beforehand, with 5, you needed 5 to vote for a motion. That's kind of harder to do. With 1, yeah, that's why McCarthy, he didn't want to do it beforehand, but we got it. So, the House Freedom Caucus, they control Congress. That's the biggest deal about it, because they can throw McCarthy whenever they want. Plus, other people that are America First warriors that haven't, they're not in the House Freedom Caucus. They control the Congress now. So that's a good improvement. But also, it appears the amendment process has been improved. Look it up beforehand. It's a mess. You can't even propose amendments on the floor. You have to go through like 50 committees just to get one amendment passed. It's a joke. But also, there were some other deals that they're not official yet, but they look close to be done. That's why I think you're seeing some people like Andy Harris and somebody like, I would say Crane probably. There was a deal about a balanced budget. And we haven't had a balanced budget since the frickin' 90s. I mean, that's how long it's been. But it seems like we're going to get a balanced budget in this Congress via significant cuts to defense spending. Now, I support a strong military, but come on. You cannot seriously defend how much money we're spending to the Defense Department. And quite frankly, a lot of it's just waste. So, I agree with it. Plus, there are other things in the budget that are good things. Also, they're going to force a couple votes on stuff like term limits, stuff like, I think they promised a vote on, I think it was on something about campaign finance. I'm not for sure, something like that. So yeah, there's also that. Also committees. People like Andy Harris, he's waiting out for a committee position. That's kind of his big deal. If he gets it, he's flipping. So that is a positive development for Harris. We're going to get America First warrior as a chair for, I think, the Labor Committee? I'm not for sure, but I believe it is for the Labor Committee. Not the most powerful in the world, but getting a lot of these people in these, ranking members in a lot of these committees is a positive development overall. So yeah, overall, it's looking like McCarthy will actually get the speakership at the end of the day. He bent the knee. It was a gamble that didn't work out. He really thought he could just threaten his caucus with threats and be like, oh, if you do not vote for me, you will not be on a committee. Well, guess what? Try to not put me on a committee when you're not even speaker. So yeah, McCarthy is looking likely to become the next Speaker of the House. It's a matter of when, barring some massive changes. We're going to get McCarthy a Speaker, but very weak and on thin ice. If he makes one mistake, he is probably gone. So yeah, there were some big changes with the rules. The details are not finalized, but the big thing is the club for the leadership fund, they're going to stay out of most significant open primaries. We're also going to see changes to the amendment process. We're going to get some good representatives in some key committees. I'm also hearing new church committees potentially coming. Hopefully it does. And we're also going to get some votes on stuff like the border, stuff like the balanced budget, etc. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. This has been a chaotic past couple of days, but I think we're finally near the end of this saga. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.